So service design specifically is a practice that looks holistically at a whole system and is especially beneficial for those businesses that have a digital and a physical component to that customer experience. That experience could span a number of different touch points, and it's also powered by a set of tools, technologies, employees, and different roles that all work backstage, to make that experience actually come alive. So we talk about human-centered design principles being applied to customer experiences, and we want to apply those same principles to everything behind the scenes, because employees, customer service, professionals, the people that deliver these experiences are also human too. So the experience blueprint specifically is an activity. It's done in a group. The purpose of it is to really draw back the curtain to get a look at everything that goes on behind the scenes in making a particular customer experience. It's a popular service design methodology, probably the most popular, the blueprint, and it's a riff on a traditional service blueprint, which is more of an artifact made for visibility, to share around with people. It's a good looking document. And it's a little bit different than a customer journey because we're going much deeper than that top layer of just what the customer is going through. We want to see how the organization all works together to create that customer experience. The blueprint actually gives a placement to everything that's going on behind the scenes. So a role, a touch point, a process, a technology, a policy that's going on during a particular part of that journey is each represented by a different color Post-it. So when it's finished, the map looks like a rainbow. The creators of this method, Eric Flowers and Megan Miller, actually explain it this way. The customer journey is like when a patient comes in and tells a doctor, I have pain in my elbow. When I do this, it hurts. When I do this, it hurts. That's the customer journey. We're hearing from them about a particular pain point that they have. The blueprint, however, is almost like the MRI, the X-ray, the blood work that you're going to do to actually diagnose what's going on behind that customer journey. Okay, so what problem is the experience blueprint solving? The problem it's solving is actually putting a name to the problem itself. Businesses often know there are problems, especially when it comes to the customer journey, but they don't get to the heart or the root cause of what's actually creating that problem. Charles Kettering, who was head of research at General Motors in the 1920s, said that a problem well stated is a problem half solved. And honestly, that is the biggest purpose for this workshop. The goal is really to get down to problem definitions so we know how to move forward. Before doing the blueprint or focusing on any of those backstage things, you might only focus on the customer-facing touch points, looking at the apps, the websites, doing redesigns. But what if that's not actually going to fix the underlying problem? What if things like employee tools, processes, policies that are not well defined, or even tools that you've outgrown that didn't scale with your company? What if those are the things that will actually impact the customer experience more than what's on the surface? All of those need to be uncovered to understand the best course of action for a business to take next. And you want to see all the different levers that you can pull that will actually impact that experience the most. So the objective of this workshop is to align key stakeholders across departments. You want to get everyone together to align around these problems, to create them, to see them together. You also want to co-create this map for shared understanding. Everyone's going to be a part of creating this map. We're going to be writing stickies. We're going to be up out of our seats, kind of building this map together. And then the third thing, which is the most important, is to identify actionable next steps. And that comes in the problem definition and recommendations, where we're able to really go after the heart or the root cause of the problem instead of just something that's easily seen on the surface. I define it in 3 ways. The first is cross-platform. So we're not just looking at that specific customer front-facing touch point, the apps, the websites. We're looking at everything that the customer touches along the journey. This could be something like a phone call, a face-to-face interaction with an employee. This could also be employee tools that they use, backend systems. Say a customer is signing up for a new experience, they might go through multiple touch points in order to get there. They might have a phone call with an employee. They may receive an email that's triggered by an automated system. They may then have a form to fill out. They may then download your product and have a number of different in-person touch points with employees after that. Looking at things cross-platform really gives us a holistic view of all the different touch points and systems that are involved in that particular journey. The other problem that we're solving is cross-functional. So this is where companies are often siloed into departments where they're solving specific problems. There could be an e-commerce team, a technology team, a customer service team, a marketing team. And this experience, this workshop really gives an opportunity for everyone to come together cross-functionally to look at a problem from different angles. Marketing and technology looking at a similar problem may have very different points of view, and that is imperative to learning and understanding each other so that we can really define that problem in the best way. The third type of problem that we're solving is cross-role. So obviously everybody wants to have the best customer experience that they can. We want that to be exceptional, best in class. We also want to look at all the other roles that are part of delivering that customer experience. Employees, we want to look, if you're at a gym, at the physical therapist, at the people working the front desk. If you're at a car dealership, we want to talk to the sales folks and customer service that you talk to on the phone to set an appointment. We want to look at the journeys and the pain points of everybody involved to make sure that we can actually deliver that top level customer experience when all the other roles are functioning as efficiently and happily as possible. Getting stakeholders from across departments is something that many people don't do naturally. Often I've seen some kind of summit or quarterly meeting, but a lot of times that's more about sharing solutions to each other rather than uncovering the problems together. So having everybody participate together means that we get to guide that group in problem solving, but it's really done and taken forward by that team. Having a group of people come to an aha moment together is really invaluable to get buy-in to actually go solve those problems. The first thing that we'll do is determine the scenario together. The scenario is really that customer, or it could be an employee journey that we want to look at. It needs to be specific, something that can be done in, say, 20-ish steps. And something that's really focused. If there are multiple paths a customer can take, I always recommend to use data to try to figure out what are the most popular paths so that we can look at those that it will impact the most people. Then we'll start filling out the map. The first part is the journey. The journey is really, like I said, very similar to a customer journey. And I prefer to have the steps for that journey actually pre-filled before the workshop. How this happens is we will contact people that know that journey very well. If it's an employee, then we'll actually interview an employee. If it's a customer, then we'll talk to a recent customer of this company or brand to understand their experience going through that journey. So we'll do a handful of interviews to actually seed that journey that we can all kind of build off from, move around if we disagree with it, and talk about as our foundation for the day. Then we start building out everything in the backstage. So this is your touch points. Our customers looking at a website, are they talking to a person? Are they on their phones? Are they on their desktops? The different roles that are involved, who from the backstage may they be talking to. This is also a good place to say if automated system that's actually triggering this interaction. The next thing is processes. Processes and policies are things that are either known or unknown at a company that say, hey, when this happens, we should expect to do this. Different processes that we've agreed upon to make everything run smoothly and efficiently as possible. The interesting thing about these policies and processes, though, is that sometimes they are undefined. Sometimes employees have workarounds. Sometimes these processes actually get in the way of being able to offer that great experience. And so this one is a really fun one, I think, to document and really look into. The last thing is technology. What kind of backend systems are actually powering those tools? This could be a CRM, a set of APIs. It could be something very manual as well, like an Excel spreadsheet. We'll also look at questions, metrics, notes along the way. We'll just keep track of everything that we know about that particular journey moment, data that we have, or if we don't have it, we're going to want to make notes along the way of things to look into in the future, maybe things we want to research or pull data for. Then the last thing, probably the most important, is now that we have access to everything that's going on in that step, we will now have a more holistic view into understanding what the pain points and opportunities could be for that step. We have the touch point, the policies, the technology that hopefully will trigger in your mind, oh yeah, I actually have a problem with that technology. Our employees have complained about this process before. And that's what triggers you to write a red card for a pain point. Or if you have an idea, then you'll write a yellow card for an opportunity. And that's really the gold, the heart of this blueprint, is those red and yellow stickies that come at the end. So then once we have all the red and yellow stickies, we'll take them, group them into themes, and start looking at the patterns that the problems are taking shape in. We'll start looking at the overlaying theme of those problems and specifically what's going on. And then we'll work together to actually define that problem in a very clear, concise problem statement that we all agree on and feel good about, so that we can then go back and create recommendations to actually move the needle on that specific problem. This workshop is usually facilitated by someone from BottleRocket's experience design team, in partnership with a product manager and a solutions architect or someone from technical delivery. It's really important for us to have that trio of design, product, and tech represented so that we also as BottleRocket can come and look at a problem from different angles. On the client side, we recommend keeping it to about 6 to 10 people. Obviously, leadership is needed here. We need their buy-in. We need them to champion this process, but we also want to hear from those people that are more boots on the ground, specifically to the scenario that we're talking about. So if we're talking about a specific customer journey, say it's in the beginning of the funnel acquisition, they're signing up, or at the end, they've completed a service, and now we want to see how they feel about it. We're going to want to talk to experts that are very familiar with that particular part of the journey. So this could be technical people that understand the backend systems that are powering the touch points. It could be customer support. There could even be designers or researchers on that team that have looked at this problem before. Could be product owners that have decision-making power about how to actually change these products. Analytics is obviously very important because we want to understand the data of what's actually happening behind the surface. And then people like operations, finance, or communications that can kind of add on an additional layer and kind of speak from it from a different angle. From a timing perspective, the blueprint will take a few hours. It goes by quick, but I recommend saving about 3 hours to actually build this blueprint out together and have time to talk about it and pause through some of those steps, have time to brainstorm those pain points and opportunities that come up. Then it'll take us a few hours to actually look at the themes that came out of it and develop those problem statements together. So why is this important for BottleRocket? From my perspective, it really gives us a peek behind the curtain in ways that if we're just doing that single customer facing touch point, we normally don't get to see. We're uncovering new problems with the client, learning about their systems. We get to hear which ones they're happy with, which ones they're not happy with. We get to understand who the key decision makers are in the business, what kind of roles or teams or channels they actually value the most. A lot of times people put employee tools last and customer tools first, and this workshop gives us an opportunity to hear all of those different conversations and really get a truer understanding of the client in general. So this kind of opens up those doors into other aspects of the business that normally we don't get to see. Like I said, especially on the employee side, the back-end system side, all of those roll up into the customer journey, but it's not always natural for a client to bring us into kind of that underlying process. But this exercise shows why it's so valuable to apply our design and strategy to the whole ecosystem and not just that top layer of the customer journey. It also helps give our pitches an edge because we hear what they've done in the past, what they're looking to do in the future, what their goals are. And so we're able to make more valuable recommendations to them because we've seen their whole system. We've heard about what they want to do, what they've tried to do, where maybe they're unable to fill a gap, either resource-wise or technology-wise. And we're able to come right in and make a very specific pitch or recommendation to that problem. Let me tell you how this worked with one of our clients. We've had the privilege of working with Echo Park for a few years now. We partnered with them to create a new version of their website that actually takes the car buying flow completely online. And it's been live for about a year now. So we thought that this would be a good opportunity for us to come in and see how things have changed. For customers who are using the website, for employees who are in this ecosystem where the website is one tool that they're using, we wanted to come in and see where maybe there were problems or gaps in their whole ecosystem now that the website has launched. So what we did was we were in person with them at their headquarters in Charlotte, North Carolina. We went through 4 different scenarios over the course of 2 days and had people from across departments actually come in to do that workshop in person with us. These people were from their e-com team, logistics, operations, marketing, customer service, even people that train employees were all in the room with us to be able to speak to these customer journeys or employee journeys, even from different sides, from different angles. We all got together to do these 4 blueprints. And what came out of it was over 205 pain points and opportunities that were actually pulled out from these maps. We then took all of these, we synthesized them, we put them into groups and looked at the themes and the high level areas of what was actually going on in these different blueprints and prioritized those down to 5 specific problem and opportunity areas that were important to the business for their customers, for their business, and also for their employees. We looked at those 5 opportunity areas. We talked about impact and effort to actually go after that problem, the urgency that it's going to take to get it done, and where in the problem framework it is. Do we need more research about this problem? Are we ready to go after and try to solution against it? After we looked at these 5 problems, we were able to make recommendations. Our recommendations were across different areas of their ecosystem. Some were for customers, some were customer-facing touch points, some were for employees, the back-end systems that they use or some of the pain points that they feel when they're trying to do their jobs. We were able to make recommendations from a bunch of different areas, research, strategy, technology, analytics, seeing something so holistically and being able to look at these 4 different journeys as a really good representation of what's going on across their business, really highlighted those specific areas that we were able to provide a valuable recommendation for actually how to go forward. So next steps will be to actually start those roadmaps and solving those problems. It could be opening more research, talking to more customers or employees about their experience with that specific area. It could also be doing strategy, looking at the design of the site, doing A/B testing to figure out what works. It could also be on the technology side, doing an audit of their tools, figuring out what's working, what's not working, what other solutions are out there in the market. Should they build something? Should they buy something and actually add to it? Our recommendations really were able to come from all different areas of the business, which is what makes this workshop so valuable.